Hi, hello, and welcome to Lily's Library. So today we're going to be going through my 5-star predictions. These are books I'm hoping to read this year that I think will be 5 stars. Now, actually, before we get into the books that I think are going to be 5-star predictions, I thought we'd talk a bit about what qualifies a book to be 5 stars for me, because I'm not really someone that hoards 5-star reviews. Like, I don't make it super strict for it to get them. The main things that make it a 5-star read for me is if it emotionally impacts me, if it makes me cry or feel lots of different emotions, it usually gets a 5-star rating just because I don't always cry and feel that connected to books that I read. And I feel like if it can do that, then it deserves the rating. Another thing is how compelling the characters are and the world, how intricately it is all crafted and woven together. Like the 5th season, that whole entire Broken Earth trilogy, those are each 5-star books because it makes me cry. The way everything crafts and twists together, the twists and turns it takes is just so masterfully crafted. Another one that's 5 stars that I absolutely adored in a different way that also made me sad and really think, and is a book I constantly think back on, is Our Wives Under the Sea. So yeah, for 5 stars, for me, it's something that really emotionally impacts me or really impresses me on a craft setting, as well as something that has a very lasting impact on me and I continue to ruminate on and think about. So I think that's kind of the way that I think about my 5 stars. So I'm first going to start with 2 historical fiction books and a translated fiction that I'm hoping to get to really soon that I think will be absolutely incredible reads. The first one is one I've been meaning to read for so long now and I just keep putting it off. I actually have tried to read it before but just wasn't in the right mood. So I'm hoping that mood strikes me soon. I feel like sometimes in winter and autumn I do tend to lean more towards historical fiction and other forms of like literary fiction, so I'm hoping I can get to that one soon, and that is Pachinko by Min Jin Lee. This is something I've been wanting to read, like I said, for like years now, and I've heard such great things about it. I know so many people that absolutely love this book. I've seen so many just rave reviews of it, and I have tried reading it before. I just wasn't in the right mood for it, so I do really want to give it another go. But this is set in Yeongdo, Korea in 1911, and in this we follow a man who is born club-footed and with a cleft lip, and he ends up marrying a 15-year-old girl and they have a daughter. And then one day she becomes pregnant by a married yakuza and her family is facing ruin. But then one day a Christian minister offers her a chance of salvation, which is a new life in Japan as his wife. So she ends up going with him and we follow her and that journey. I think it's an intergenerational story. So I'm very intrigued to see what it is about. It obviously has to do with the Japanese occupation of Korea, which is a very interesting topic and kind of ties into the next book that I think will be 5 stars. So the next one is When Sleeping Women Wake. This is by Emma Payin. This is one I've recently picked up and I've heard really good things about this as well. This is another historical fiction. This one is set in Hong Kong during the Japanese occupation there, and it's set in the 1940s. It follows the wealthy Tang family who have settled in Hong Kong after fleeing Shanghai. As the first wife of the family, Mingju leads a glamorous but lonely existence, overseeing her daughter's education and directing their household of servants, including her longtime confidant Biyu. When the Japanese invade the island, the 3 women's paths widely diverge. Mingju is coerced into serving an enemy captain. Tiang and Biyu suffer brutal factory work until an encounter with the East River Column resistance fighters separates them. As war rages around them, each woman holds on to the hope that the others are alive, but can they support the resistance and still find their way back to each other? It sounds really good, and one of my favorite authors, Ali Parker, she blurbed this saying, "Courage, strength, and power bleed from every page." But Emma is an Australian Cantonese author, and I'm just really intrigued by this one. I think it's a very fascinating topic, and I feel like it's kind of got similar themes to Human Acts, which I read recently, which was also about resistance and uprisings. So I'm very interested to explore this one. It's like nothing I've really read before, so I really can't wait to delve into it. And like I said, Ali blurbed it and absolutely loved it, and I really trust her taste and loved her books, so I feel like I will really love this one. Okay, next up I've got a translated fiction, and that is Breasts and Eggs. This is by Miko Kawakami. I'm really excited to read this one. By the time you're watching this video, I actually would have just gone to a book talk by this author talking about Three Sisters, which is her newest book, which I'm also hoping to read and think I will absolutely love, but this is the only one I currently have on my physical TBR. My sister has read this and absolutely loved it and said she thinks I will really enjoy it, and it definitely sounds like my kind of thing, so I feel like this is going to be 5 stars. If not, it's going going to be very, very close to it. But I'll read you the blurb of this because it's been a while since I actually read what this one was about. On a sweltering summer's day in a poor suburb of Tokyo, we meet three women, 30-year-old Natsuko, her older sister Makiko, and Makiko's teenage daughter Midoriko. Makiko, an aging hostess despairing the loss of her good looks, has traveled to the city in search of the breast enhancement surgery she thinks will change her life. Accompanying her is Midoriko, who has recently stopped speaking. In Natsuko's rundown apartment, the three women slowly confront their individual anxieties, as well as their relationships under the weight of Midoriko's punishing silence. 8 years later, we are reunited with Natsuko. She's now a writer and finds herself on a journey back to her native city, returning to memories of that summer and her family's past as she faces her own uncertain future. A radical and intimate portrait of contemporary working-class womanhood, Breasts and Eggs recounts the heartbreaking journeys of three women in a society where the odds are stacked against them. It sounds really interesting. Again, kind of similar to a degree topics as the other two books. It really looks at women and their role and everything, and the weight and the pressure that is put upon them and their expectations. And I've just heard such incredible things about this book, and that it just sounds so interesting. And I really love books that tackle womanhood, as well as that dynamic and relationship between other women that are both blood related and other dynamics and relationships. So I'm very excited for that one. I know her new book as well, Sisters in Yellow, follows two sisters as well and their relationship, and does a similar time jumpy thing. So I definitely think this is going to be a 5-star read. Next up, I have a horror. I was looking on my horror shelf and I feel like a few of the other ones I have could be 5 stars, but I have a feeling this next one is definitely going to be 5 stars just because I absolutely love vampires, and that is Vampires of El Norte. This is by Isabel Canas. I've heard such incredible things about this one. I was actually hoping to get to this the other month, but I just didn't have time for it, and I wasn't in the right mood. I feel like with certain books, you have to be in the correct mood to read them, and I feel like this is definitely one of those. But all I really know about this, and all I'm going to tell you about this, is that it's set on the Texas-Mexico border, and it's got vampires, vaqueros, and star-crossed lovers, and it's a supernatural western, and that's kind of all I need to know. A lot of people I trust have loved this one and have said such great things about this author, so I'm very excited for it. Next up, I have a stack of fantasy. I was going through my fantasy books, and I tried to keep it very limited because I think these are the ones that I definitely will get to this year, and that I know are going to be 5 stars. The first one, I feel like will definitely be 5 stars, but I've seen a few mixed things lately of people saying it really felt like a slog to get through, but we'll see how we go. A lot of people that also have similar taste to me have read this and rated it 5 stars, so I think I'm safe in saying it'll be 5 stars. But that one is The Everlasting by Alex E. Harrow. This is actually based off of and inspired by Alex E. Harrow's short story, The 6 Deaths of the Saint, which is one of my favorite short stories of all time. I actually have a book down here that's got a bunch of short stories in it and has that short story in it, so I'm planning on rereading that before I get to this. But this is about lady knights, I'm pretty sure, so I'll read you the blurb for this because I don't think I've actually read the whole blurb. So Una Everlasting was Dominion's greatest hero, the orphaned girl who became a knight and who died for queen and country. Her legend lives on, but her life as it truly happened has been forgotten. Centuries later, Owen Mallory, failed soldier, struggling scholar, falls in love with the tale of Una Everlasting. His fascination with her takes him to war, to the archives, and even into the past. Una and Owen become tangled together in time, bound to retell the same story and over, no matter what it costs. But that story always ends the same way. If they want to rewrite Una's legend and finally tell a different tale, they'll have to confront its author and change history itself. Which, from what I know of 6 Deaths of the Saint, it makes me very nervous about it, especially with it repeating itself and needing to confront its author and change history itself. There is one thing that makes me a bit hesitant about this book, and that is the romance. I feel like it's not really needed with this kind of story, because at least from 6 Deaths of the Saint, it was really about Una, or the knight's relationship and bond to the queen that she would fight for. So I'm very intrigued to see what this one is like, but it sounds really beautiful. I love Alex E. Harrow's writing, so I'm hoping I can get to this soon. The next ones are all very chunky, but the first one is A Song of Legends Lost by M.H. Ayende. I've heard incredible things about this, and the sequel is coming out very soon as well, so I'm hoping to get to this one soon. But again, so many of my mutuals have absolutely loved this and have said I will love it, and I really trust them, so I feel like I will actually enjoy this, and this will be 5 stars. The length is the thing that's really intimidating me at the moment, just because I've got so many long books on my TBR this year, but I'll read you the blurb for this one because it does sound really really fascinating. So it says, a song of rebellion, a song of war, a song of legends lost. In the kingdom of the Nine Lands, only warriors of noble blood can summon their ancestors to fight with them in battle. But when Temi, a commoner from the slums, accidentally invokes a powerful spirit, she finds it could hold the key to ending this centuries-long war. But as secrets long buried come to light, Temi will learn that not everything that can be invoked is an ancestor, and some of the spirits that can be drawn from the ancestral realm are more dangerous than anyone can imagine. But that sounds really interesting, and the reason I haven't read this one yet is because I've been waiting for the sequel to come out in Australia, and I think I'm still like a month off. So I think I'm going to order myself a copy of the sequel and then read them back to back. I think that's my plan. So it just sounds so good. I love things as well with gods and the ability to like recall them and use them during battle. I think that's so fascinating and fun. So I'm very excited to see what this one is like. Okay, the next 3 books are ones in a trilogy. They're ones I'm super nervous to read, but I think I will be reading all of them this year, and that is the Fitz and the Fool trilogy. So we have got Fool's Assassin, Fool's Quest, and Assassin's Fate, which the names of all of these make me so nervous, but I just know these are all going to be 5-star reads. Pretty much all of the Fitz and the Fool books have been 5-star reads, besides some of the books in the Tawny Man trilogy that I just had issues with, but I am so excited and so nervous. I know these books are going to emotionally destroy me and wreck me and just cause so much pain and heartache and heartbreak, but I honestly kind of can't wait for it. It's been a long time coming now to finish this whole Realm of the Elderlings universe, so I'm very excited yet very nervous. I'm still making my way through the quartet that is set before this, which is the Raymard Chronicles. You can see them here, book 4. I'm about to start, but I just know these books are going to be so good. I feel like these are also kind of difficult to talk about because they are obviously set so much later compared to like the Farseer trilogy and live ship books, that it's kind of hard to talk about them without obviously spoiling prior events. But this is obviously set quite a number of years after the Farseer trilogy and the Tawny Man trilogy. This is after Fitz and the Fool parted ways and have gone off on their own adventures. And one day Fitz receives a messenger that is seeking him and then disappears, leaving nothing behind but a blood trail. What was the message, who was the sender, and what happened to the messenger? And then Fitz's past obviously comes back to haunt him, and we follow them as they navigate this journey again. I don't know how exactly the Fitz and the Fool reunite, but I'm very excited to see what happens and very nervous. And yeah, these just are such long and intimidating books, but I cannot wait to see where this journey takes me. I think every book in this trilogy is going to be 5 stars. I've seen a lot of people rate it similar. I feel like all of Robin Hobb's books are just so good. I rate most of them 5 stars, to be honest, but I am just really excited for these ones. But yeah, that is it for this week's video. Let me know if you have read any of these books and they were your 5 stars, or how you kind of delegate or choose whether a book actually gets a 5-star rating. Are you someone who finds it difficult to find a 5-star read? What's your kind of criteria to get there? I find it so interesting seeing the differences. But like I said, that is it for this week's video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. My other social medias are linked down below as well if you want to follow me there, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.